That cool?
If I take a shower, will you hear?
No, you're fine. It's actually fine if you make any like sound now. The only thing is when like meetings, but during streams it's fine. Yeah, totally. All right, let's see if it actually is live. You can add polls into. You can add polls into the live stream now. That's pretty cool. Did you know that?
You're on live now?
Yeah. But you can add polls straight to your live stream now and your chat. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Hey everyone, how are we doing? I wanted to take a look today at the AZ700, which seems to me one of the more interesting certifications that have come out this year in terms of Azure. But let's hold on a couple of minutes, let a few more people come in, and then we'll dive into what's going on here. I would like to know what's everyone studying for. I put a little poll there, so you can click yes or no to just let me know if you're studying for certification. So far 100% yes. Interesting. Let me see if I can open up the... Take a look at... So far 100% yes with 7 votes. It's actually pretty awesome. AZ303, AZ304, that's a solid certification. I got a new keyboard today. Well, actually the other day. Actually. Wait. Yesterday? Yes. Take a look. It's a Razer Black Widow Mini Hyperspeed Black Widow V3, and the cool thing about this, it's a 65% keyboard, so it's very, very small. And at first I started with a 60%, but the 60% don't have this row here or arrows, so it becomes pretty hard to... Oh, hold on, let me put my phone on silent. It becomes pretty hard to... I'm so used to using arrows, and also the delete key. Pretty important for me, so yeah, so far I'm really digging this one. But yeah, I'd like to so far everyone has voted that they are studying for certification, which I find very interesting. We're gonna take a look at the AZ700 in a second, because I think it's still in beta, but yeah. I'm 304. Hi from Africa. Hey Africa, and hi from Kenya. Hey Kenya. I was doing the cloud certified practitioner. Cool. Does that mean you've stopped? Curious to if you did, why? Alright, so let's move into the other. I've got the exam page, so docs.microsoft.com/learn/certifications/exams and then /AZ700. So let's first take a look at the download exam skills. Let's take a look at the outline first. And take a look at the things that I actually know and the things that I actually don't know. Networking is probably my weakest skill set in terms of cloud computing. So I think if I wanted to pick one certification that would challenge me the most, it would probably be a networking related certification. So 10 to 15% in design, implement, and manage hybrid networking. So you got site-to-site VPN connections. All right, so design, implement, manage a site-to-site VPN connection and a point-to-site VPN connection. Design, implement, and manage Azure Express Route. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used Express Route. Design and implement private IP addressing for VNets. Design and implement DNS, cross VNet connectivity. Design and implement Azure Virtual WAN. Okay. That seems to be, hold on. Alright, so that's 10-15%, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. So it looks like this piece here, this one, this section, design and implement routing, is the largest, 25 to 30%. Design and implement and manage VNet routing. Design and implement an Azure load balancer. Design and implement Azure application gateway. Implement Azure front door. Lots of front door in here. Traffic manager. Oh, front door is like Cloudflare, right? Design and implement virtual network net. Firewall deployments. Oh, we're moving into another section. Secure and monitor networks. Firewall deployments, NSGs, WAF deployment, monitor networks. Sign and implement private access to Azure services. This seems to be the smallest section. Okay, cool. So you know what we could take a look at actually? It's probably quite useful. This is what I love about Azure certifications that they have. If you go to like the certification page and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll have a learning path that you can follow. Let's take a look at this one. So it's 8 modules that'll take 9 hours, 9 hours and a half. So that's probably going to take me, I don't know, like 20 hours. I'm very, very slow in terms of learning stuff. Hey John, how are you doing? Studying for AZ 500. My weakness in cloud is infrastructure as code. The 500, is that the Azure DevOps certification? No, Microsoft Azure Security Technologies. Oh, the DevOps is 400, my mistake. Okay, cool. So let's head back here, actually. Let's take a look here. So we have Introduction to Azure Virtual Networks, which is an hour. Design and implement hybrid networking. Design and implement Azure Express Route. Load balance non-HTTPS. Is this... Hold on. 8 modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. I'm curious, since the dog likes to sit right next to my chair and then I have to move the chair, so he gets rolled over. No, he's fine. You can leave him. I just don't want him to be, like, if I move the chair, I don't want, like, hit his leg or anything like that. Alright, let's open up this up. The first one. The longest one is 1 hour and 18, hour and a half. All right, some of these are pretty long. So I was thinking it might be pretty cool to do like more of a consistent stream and kind of utilize these learning modules or learning paths as study material. I wouldn't necessarily be teaching anything, but we could go through material. A lot of these things I could probably be pretty familiar with. You know what? me take a look at the 201. Is that the most recent one? Oh, this was retired. 204. My mistake. I'm thinking about the wrong certification. I'm thinking about the 204. A colleague of mine, so I was mentioning I don't have any like recent certifications besides the Linux Essentials, but that's like an entry level cert. So I was, I had mentioned, I think I mentioned on Twitter that I don't have any recent Azure certifications, and they said that I could probably take this one, the 204, without having to study much. So let's take a look at the outline as well. I know I mentioned this would be about the AZ700, but the 204 has always been something that I've tried to, that I've wanted to get, right? Can we see your dog? My dog is, he just went outside. I'll show you a picture though, hold on. If you go on my Instagram, my dog's on my story because he likes to lay down next to, you see that? Right next to my chair. Yeah. Hold on. I got a little bit too many tabs open here. Whoops. Close this one. We'll close this one and we'll close this one. Okay, cool. So, let me try to figure out if I could actually pass this without studying. 25%, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 15 to 20. Alright. So this is one of the biggest sections. Provision, virtual machine. This is a developer one, developing solutions for Microsoft Azure. Provision, virtual machines. Yeah, configure, validate, and deploy ARM templates. I think I could do that. Configure container images for solutions. I'm a little rusty on containers, not gonna lie. Publish an image to the Azure Container Registry. I think I could probably pull that off. Run containers by using Azure Container Instance. Alright, a little iffy on this section. Let's take a look at create Azure App Service web apps. Create an Azure App Service, yes. Enable diagnostics, yes. Deploy code to a web app, yes. Configure web app settings, including SSL, API settings, connection strings, yes. Implement auto-scaling rules, including scheduled auto-scaling and auto-scaling by operational or system metrics. Yeah, I could most likely do this. So, I'm good on this section. Azure Functions, I'm not even going to take a look at that because I know I can go through that. Cosmos DB, I'm pretty good with Cosmos DB as well. Select the appropriate API, yep. Partition keys, yep. Perform operations on data in Cosmos, yeah, I can, yeah. Blob storage, yeah. Alright, so far this section. So for this first section, I think I'm pretty good, except for I probably have to brush up on containers. Develop for Azure storage, Cosmos, blob storage, pretty good as well. Security, another one of my weak points. Implement user authentication and authorization. Authenticate Microsoft Identity Platform. Authorize users and apps by using Active Directory. Create and implement shared access. So I could definitely do this last one. This would be another one of the I have to look into. I probably have to study this section as well. Secure app, Key Vault, yes. Key Vault, yeah. Anything with Key Vault, I'm pretty good on. Implement solutions and interact with Microsoft Graph. I don't think I've ever used Microsoft Graph, so I'd have to look into that. Configure cache and expiration policies for Redis cache. Never done that, so I'd have to look into that. Yeah, I'd have to brush up on this section too. Instrument solutions to support monitoring logging. I'm pretty good with Azure Monitor. APIM. 50-50. Event Grid, Event Hubs. 50-50. Service Bus. I once spent a lot of money on Service Bus. Azure Queues. Okay. So I would say I'd have to probably take a look at this section, study it. Alright, so that person who told me that I could probably... Oh, let me close this. Actually, let's switch over to... Take a look at the poll results. But I think if I were to do this sort of like more consistent study stream, the 204 might make more sense to do. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm just pulling up the results of the poll because I want to see how many of you are all studying for certification. One person said No. I'm gonna end it. But it's good to know. Based on, oh, hold on, what's your Instagram? It's ad made by GPS. All my social media is ad made by GPS, so you can find me there. Based on the 204, I can notice that pass is your probably, I think you mean my strength. I think developer solutions, most likely my strength. So like Azure Functions or app service, those kind of things, probably my strengths. And like the most popular services used in Azure, like storage, that kind of stuff, probably my strength. My weakness is definitely going to networking, containers, security, that kind of stuff. But yeah, besides that, I think it would be probably a fun certification to study sort of on stream. But I don't know, what do y'all think? Let me pull up the learning path, the 204 learning path. Oh, here's my dog, but he's all wet now. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up and then we can share the screen again. Okay, so we got create serverless applications, connect your services together. Let's take a look at this. Why isn't this an all one learning path? Oh, it's because it's multiple learning paths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like just this first one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oof. Oh, it says it right up here. 8 hours. This is quite the 4 hours. 3 hours. Quite the large certification to study for. 4 hours. 4 hours? Oh, I missed one there. This last one's 4 hours. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, what do y'all think? I'd love to hear opinions. I do want to sort of have maybe a stream a couple times a week because I want to be more consistent, but also I want them to be useful. I want to just hop on here and talk about, I don't know, about my dog, that kind of stuff. It also holds me accountable. I think the 204 is, as the first one, would be a good option just because it's probably the one that I know the most out of. But I know like the 104 is very popular amongst people taking Azure certifications. The 700 looks super cool. But yeah, curious to see what people think. But that I really like where it's like cloud certifications are becoming more like specialized. It's like not one general certification that you get. Like there's a bunch out there that want to be more focused on security, DevOps, networking. I have no insight into. Actually, I haven't kept up with like AWS certifications. My dog is back. Or GCP, but I think GCP released a new, like an entry-level cert finally. I don't think they had one before. Like AWS has the Certified Cloud Practitioner one, and then Azure has the AZ900. I think GCP finally has one, which is good to hear. I just don't know anybody who actually has it or is taking it, or anyone who works at GCP. Yeah. But anyway, what do y'all think? I'd love to hear. Cloud has cybersecurity opportunities from what I learned. I think the combination of cloud computing and cybersecurity is a very, very lucrative one. Probably harder to get into, mainly because security is such a security itself is pretty, like, there's a lot to learn. But I also feel like it's one of those fields that if you know your stuff, like, they could care less about like your credentials, like degrees and such. Also, the security community is pretty strong. Have already taken the SC300 certifications. I don't even know what that is. Let's take a look. I've not taken it. Let's switch into Microsoft Identity and Access Administrator. That does not sound like something I would have been interested in taking when I was taking certifications. Azure Active Directory. All right, it's a lot of Active Directory, Identity, IMA stuff. See, this is what I'm talking about. I love how specific these are getting. Because instead of you just taking, you know, studying for certification for, I don't know, let's say a month, and you have these little pockets of like a bunch of knowledge, you're spending that whole month sort of like invested in one slice of cloud. So in this case, identity, in the previous case, development, in the previous case, networking, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like how specific this is getting. I know there's like some entry-level security certifications too. I can't remember. It's like the CS? The security cert. Is this the one I was thinking about? 200, 300, 400, 900. So the SC200 is the Microsoft Security Operations Analyst. Then the 300 we just took a look at. It's a lot of Active Directory. The Information Protection Administrator. So compliance. And then Microsoft's the SC900, which is, okay, like the entry level to these. So the 200 is Azure Sentinel, Azure Defender, 365 Defender, and third-party security products. Then the 300 is AD. And then this 400 is... It doesn't name anything here. Let me look here. Okay, compliance stuff. I guess more about like the compliance aspect and less about the actual service. Interesting. These seem pretty cool too. Again, I love how specific they're getting. I still think the 204 is probably the one I would go for. Let's answer some questions here. Study sessions would be good combined with Microsoft's study path. Studying for AZ700 now, taking the beta exam on 8/14. Ah, cool. It's like in 2 weeks. Let me know how that goes. I'm very interested in that certification, but again, I want to get my best bang for my buck. And I think the 204 is probably the best bang for my buck because I don't have to study as much, and like with a million other things that I have going on. But yeah, I think certifications, I have like a love-hate relationship with them. Like, I know they're valuable for myself, and I love how they keep me like accountable. But as like someone who creates, you know, content, YouTube streams and all that kind of stuff, like I also think like, okay, if I am going to study and I'm going to create content, like what's the best? How is it both valuable for me and valuable for the people who are watching? All right. Any advice on AWS CCP? That's my first stepping stone into cloud. I think that is a good first stepping stone, of course. Any entry-level certification I think is fantastic. Let me lower the music because it's a little loud. hold on. I have to like switch the application. Give me a sec. A little more there. All right, cool. What was I saying? AWS CCP, yes. Actually, I don't think you're supposed to call it CCP. It's Cloud Certified Practitioner. Fantastic entry-level certification, of course. I don't really have many like specific tips on that one. The only real thing I could probably say is if as you're studying for it, you know, you're getting hands-on ideally, pay attention to the services or the areas that you enjoy the most, because that'll sort of give you a stepping stone into like what's my next thing to learn, or what's my next thing to play around with, or my next certification, whatever it might be, right? Cool. Do you recommend multi-cloud certifications? I did not know multi-cloud certifications are a thing. Overall, my sort of 2 cents on multi-cloud for beginners is I don't think it's worth your time. Mainly because there aren't that many like jobs focusing on that. Like a lot of them are jobs are like AWS. I did a video today just looking at cloud engineer gigs on my channel if you want to go watch it, but a lot of them were AWS and then Azure. I don't think I saw any GCP ones or any multi-cloud ones. There's also this concept of like cloud agnostic certifications, which are quite interesting. It's like the CompTIA Cloud Plus, I believe. It's like you're just learning basics of cloud, like fundamentals of cloud computing that will and can apply to all cloud platforms. That might be a good idea, but multi-cloud certifications, again, you got to think. It's not only like how much time you're investing; it's like money, and you want to put that towards like the best opportunity for, you know, learning and landing gigs, I guess. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I'm studying AWS. Are you proud? I'm happy to see that I encourage people to learn cloud computing. I think that's cool. Yeah. Microsoft's FTEs for free. Full-time employees. Microsoft full-time employees take exams for free. I'm not sure if you're asking or are you letting me know. I'm an IT support analyst and I'm going to be a cloud engineer. That's awesome. Fantastic. I started out in IT help desk support as well. I think most people who've watched my channel know like what my feelings about it. Like at the time of working it, I hated it. And I just couldn't wait to get out, but I learned so much there, and I would have not been introduced to cloud if it wasn't for that job. So, yeah. The music is not too loud. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Where to study for cloud engineer? Too many online subscription websites to learn. YouTube also has a lot of material. Yeah, so that's the issue with I think the comparison between like when I started learning like 5 years ago or so versus now, like the difference in just quality and quantity of content is insane. Like back then it was like I think only Linux Academy, maybe CBT Nuggets. I don't know if they had any cloud stuff, but it was like really only Linux Academy. And now you have like, you know, Cloud Academy, Linux Academy. Oh wait, no, Linux Academy is not a thing anymore. Cloud Academy, A Cloud Guru, Pluralsight, Udemy, YouTube. There's a bunch of free content. I think that's a good question. For Azure, I always recommend taking a look at, so go to the certification page of the Azure cert, like the ones that we were just taking a look at. And then in there, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see learning paths. And those are all built by people who actually work at Microsoft. So they know what they're talking about. That content is really, really good. I've like seen the detail that they put into that kind of stuff. I would say that's a good first step. If you're like a text-based sort of learner, if you're like more of a video learner, that's the thing that becomes a little harder because I don't really know any recommended video content. In terms of AWS content. You know what? Let's take a look at this. Give me 1 second. If we go to GitHub, I know I have a self-taught cloud computing guide, and I had asked Rishabh, who's familiar with AWS, and has a bunch of AWS certifications, to add some resources. So let's take a look at what he put in here. Hold on, let's go to. Yeah, I can't lie. I'm not gonna give you like AWS recommendations because I'm just not too familiar. Okay, here's some AWS ones. So Free Code Camp has a bunch, and Rishabh has like some cloud nodes that might be worth your time as well. Yeah, he's a bunch. Let's take a look at like the practitioner one. Fantastic. And there's like sysops. All right, so yeah, head into let me give you. How do I paste? Give me 1 second. Let me paste a chat into here. We're gonna get chatception for a second. All right, so that's where it's a bunch of resources there. Rishabh also has. Hold on, let me take a look. He also has like cheat sheets that are fantastic. Here we go. I think these are also fantastic for AWS things. I'm gonna start this. Then we'll add that into here. Those are some good good resources. Letting you know. Cool. I did not know that. Oh, shout out to the new subscriber. Thank you. I did not know that we can take certifications for free. That's cool. Send me grades. Let's see. Self-studies versus led by instructor. What do you recommend? Okay. So it's hard to sort of provide like blanket general advice because, we all learn in very different fashions. I would say don't dismiss the benefit of using something that's led by instructor, but I would also say at least give other types of content a try first, right? Because there's a lot of great content that's free out there, that's available on demand and available for you to sort of just consume, at the middle of the night, the morning, at lunchtime, that kind of stuff. Give video a try, give books a try, give short form tutorials, long form tutorials, give YouTube videos, full on courses that are like 20 hours. Give those things a try first. And if you still think you need like something led by instructor, then, by all means, of course. I would also say, keep in mind is like, why do you think it's better to have an instructor for you? Is it like maybe it helps you keep accountable, or I don't know, it could be a billion reasons, right? I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, but I think the ability to learn something on your own is like a skill set that's just gonna, like, your returns in your career and how you improve and progress are like rely on that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, but I understand, like, especially like for beginners, yeah, it can be difficult. I understand that, but yeah, let me take a break, get some water. But anyway, yeah, back to the idea of study streams. I want to do the AZ204, maybe like 2 streams a week for a month. Each stream would be like 2 hours. Maybe we can do like Wednesdays I record the podcast. Actually, Tuesdays I record the podcast. So like maybe Wednesdays and Sundays, something like that. We'll just go through the learning paths. We'll do like 1 a day. For the 204, I think I could get it done in a month just because of the amount of material that I already know. Yeah, and then maybe after that, the 700. I don't know. Could be. It could be. CCNA, AZ104, AZ700. What's that list of certifications that you're taking or that you want to take? But yeah, that's my whole spiel for today. Here's a side question. Do y'all use TikTok? I've been posting like super short cloud like tutorials, I guess, on TikTok. It's quite an interesting platform. So anyway, hold on, let me get back here. Someone was telling me that oh, hold on. All right, cool. Someone was asking me about my HP Omen laptop. As I posted this before, but I gifted it. But I do have another one. Well, I have actually my sibling has one and doesn't use it, so I might might buy it back from him, because I've been using the MacBook Pro M1 and it's great, but I realize that once I start to do like a bunch of things like I'm streaming and like I have Visual Code or stuff open, it starts to lag a little bit, which is quite interesting. So we'll see what ends up happening. No TikTok, no to TikTok. Yeah, I'm interested in how like people learn now, because it's like all short form content, and I'm starting to think like YouTube to an extent is long. Like I think my videos are pretty short, like always under 10 minutes, but now with like TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that, I'm like, oh, do I have to make even shorter content? Yeah. Is it possible to start a career in cloud as a solutions architect, or do I necessarily start as a cloud engineer admin? I'm gonna say you're probably gonna have a better opportunity with cloud roles that are not architect related, because the architect role, and this is specific to all the tech field, not necessarily just cloud, is usually someone with a lot of experience under their belt. Like they've built a bunch of infrastructure, they've been on a bunch of projects, they've been on a bunch of teams. Because the architect is the person that you go to build out your solution, right? So ideally they've been through things, they've seen things, they know how to troubleshoot things. They're like your go-to person. I don't really think there's entry-level gigs at the architect level. They're also one of the highest paid roles out there. So I would say try to go I think admin is probably the most entry-level friendly. Like cloud admin, so like a lot of like virtual machines, a lot of like infrastructure networking tasks, but in terms of administration, not like building from scratch, monitoring, that kind of stuff. What was the highest you paid for a cert? The highest I paid for a cert was the certified developer associate, which I think that was like $200. I can't remember exactly, but I didn't pay for that. My job, I paid for it and then I got refunded by my job. I think there was like a $500 I guess grant that we could use every year towards education and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think I've ever paid for a certification out of my pocket. Like I've always had employers like give me money up front or pay me back for it. So I would like expense it, which I think is something that every single employer should do, especially at the entry level level, right? And I'd encourage y'all to go and ask if this is something that your company does, or maybe it already does. If it does, let me know in the chat if your company already does this. Yeah, but I remember even at the like help desk level, I was getting expense for that kind of stuff. What was I saying before this question? Can't remember. I put my PlayStation 5 on my desk. I used to have it by the TV over there, but I put it on my desk because as I'm moving next month, and I was trying to decide if I need to like buy like a little TV bench and bring my TV. I really didn't want to, but I I do like to play games like every day, more as like casual and to take my mind off things and for a little break from work. But I put it on my desk, and it's just so much better than playing from like a TV far away. Just like having it on like directly in front of you, and it's like more comfortable instead of like sitting on a couch. It's a random fact that I figured I'd share with y'all. But if anyone plays PlayStation 5 games, let me know. Hit me up. I'll give you my PSN and we could play. Yeah. But anyway, I want to hear about what y'all think about this study stream stuff. When I move, I'm gonna be like completely alone, so I'm gonna have a lot of time to do this kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of setting myself up for success, because you know when boredom gets you, you never know what could happen. Oh, you know what's another thing I've been meaning to ask y'all? Has anyone tried GitHub Copilot? And that's been getting a lot of flack. People thinking like they're gonna lose their jobs and stuff like that because of it. Close some of these tabs. Ooh, alright, here we go. Study stream equals good idea. Alright, that's one vote for study stream. Alright, so you know what? Let's do a poll. I think I could do a poll. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Alright. There we go. If you don't want to say anything. Let's see what. Study stream good idea. That sounds awesome. What does one of your followers need to do in order to be mentored by you? I don't offer mentorships, not because I don't think you need it or you deserve it. It's mainly because I don't think I'd be a great mentor. I'm just a person who puts, content online but I think you could do better. You could do better than me. Which state are you in now? I live in Connecticut, which is very close to New York. It's like from where I live now to where I'll be living in a month. It's like an hour and a half drive. Let's see. I like it. I'm a beginner who would like to learn. Cool. I also think like the 204, like the developer certification, is a pretty accessible certification in terms of. I wouldn't say it's. I'd say it's like entry level, like entry level to mid level, like in between there. Pretty accessible for new people coming into cloud. I also believe like all developer certifications, is it GCP, AWS, Alibaba, IBM, Azure, all the ones are like the funnest ones out there. I think it encourages like the most hands-on, in my humble opinion. That's why I chose like the AWS Dev Solutions developer associate, as my first cert, because like I remember being very interested in Lambda, and that was like a big part of that cert. All right, y'all. I'll answer this last question and I'll take off, and then just stay posted. I'll probably post a video if I decide to like do the streams. I'll post a video with the schedule and that kind of stuff. From your experience, what can a newbie like me do to get an entry-level cloud position? I mean, a lot of this depends on like what your current background in IT actually is. If it's like not, like if you don't have any background, I would suggest you could probably take a look at like, getting started with other tech roles that are like way more entry-level friendly than the cloud. But if you do have some tech background, like first see if you could leverage that role to get more cloud experience. Like I don't know, is there a cloud team that you could talk to? or it's like an infrastructure person who uses cloud services that you could sort of like watch their work or something like that. Is there the ability to sort of work towards a promotion at your current place? If not, you know, study a lot, get a lot of projects. I have this self-taught cloud computing guide. You can take a look at that. There's a couple of project ideas in there. Build a bunch of things. Build a lot of things. And start applying to roles that are sort of cloud, I guess, adjacent. I think the best thing I did to sort of get into the space was I wasn't stuck on getting roles that had cloud in the title. Like I wasn't necessarily looking for a cloud engineer or cloud administrator, anything like that. I was willing to look for roles that, as long as they had cloud stuff in the listing, or like Azure, AWS, GCP, stuff like that was mentioned in the listing, I was going for them. So like sysadmin or IT analyst or some stuff like that, I was going for them. So I've hoped that is somewhat of a advice. All right, gonna end this one. I'll see you if I decide to do streams. I'll let you know, and I'll post the video.